What's the deal, y'all? Y'all know who it is. It's your boy Sam Too Much, representing the Midday Madness Ross FM. Now, today, this interview here is a very, very special interview. Why? Because I have the one and only, the very talented and beautiful, and she didn't pay me to say that. The one and only, the only female soca producer in the business. I'm going to say it again. The only female soca and calypso producer in the world. The one and only, Miss Michelle Williams.
Hello, Sam.
Hi, Miche. We call her Miche. First thing I want to know, we all have to know, because I know everybody want to know, what made you want to be a soca producer?
Well, it's in my culture. I used to produce only R&B back in the days, but then, and I didn't think I could produce soca just because I think I couldn't get the essence of it, especially doing R&B. And then I realized that I might as well bring what I love to R&B to the next thing I love, which is soca, and blend them together and make it my own. So I've been doing that for years. So it's mostly been I've been cultured in my playing steel pan all these years. So I've been in different aspects of my culture. So I decided to go into production and doing, as I said, soca R&B, soca, kind of fusing it up with different types of music.
Right. Yeah, because I noticed that when you do music, it's different. It's not the regular. It has a different feel to it. It's good music. Hey, you're welcome. But it's very good music, and I love the music. Um, when you go into the studio and you decide it's time to make, because I know you want to do something. Being a female, obviously, you're gonna have a bit of a more softer, lighter feel to your music. You know what I'm saying? You're not doing no real hardcore killer jump up soca, which you should do, because you got to change the game.
I can.
I know you can, because I think I have heard one you did with Essence
Yeah.
and On the Road, big tune. Appreciated that tune. I played that tune. It was a good tune. So, what would you say makes you different than other like soca producers besides being a female, of course?
Um, the same thing. I just try to always go out the box and experiment and bring something different. Even with the song with Essence, it was still a little different. Yes, it was on the lighter side, but not to be on the lighter side. It was just because I wanted to make it more musical
Right.
as a jump up song. And even when I do jump up songs, it's sometimes a little too musical. So, but I have jump up songs. I have different types of songs. You just haven't heard them yet. I have a lot of things, and hopefully they'll be coming out the woodworks. But really, what I wanted really release soon is more on that softer side with the Caribbean soul, really delving into like R&B, jazz, and that is what I think is my niche and what's going to make me, what makes me different actually.
That's niches. The Miche's niche. That's what it is. So, what do you call your brand of music? What do you have a name for it?
Oh yeah, Caribbean soul. Basically, I mean it's a term that people use for different reasons, but I believe that it aptly or it really describes what I do because it's really the soul side of it. I said R&B, but more on the R&B side, but writing on that Caribbean side because sometimes when people produce and they try to go, oh, let me do something that's that's marketable or something. They try
Right.
to go on the other side. They go too much,
Mm.
and they tend to lose the essence of the Caribbean feel a little bit more. So now the song is not whatsoever. It's not soca whatsoever. It's not Caribbean music whatsoever. It's R&B. It's dance music. It doesn't hold or ride that little line, and I never leave out that aspect of it. And I love putting it and keeping it on that realm, the soca realm, keeping on that Caribbean feel.
Right. Is there any artist or a particular song that's out that people would be surprised that you were actually behind?
Um, a couple like the other day I was sometimes I Google certain songs just to see, and I saw "Pick the Shells" with Benjai, which was probably I think my second release back in 2004. And someone had posted on the YouTube thing, oh, this was done by a female producer, and it was like, oh wow, this is done by. They couldn't believe it was done by a female producer. So like, Pick the Shells. A lot of the songs they don't really know that is done by a female producer. They more know it from Catalyst, you know,
Right.
because at the time we were more branding Catalyst. Sometimes pushing out the fact that I'm a female producer, but people know songs of Catalyst. So I'm about to now come in and show my face, basically, come out the woodworks, and really start claiming like this. I did this and I did that. Galen's song "Look Excuse," Maximus song, which is actually a hard hidden Soca song, one of the ones you say I don't really do, but I do it. Soca Rise, which is the title of the Soca Rising album I did, the title of song for it. So yeah, you're gonna hear some of these things coming out soon, other things that I have done, but those are some of the ones I've done before. Wine with You by Trinity is one of my favorites that I did just because I love Trinity's voice on it, and I love the mix. Technically, I love the mix of it.
Right.
Yeah.
So, like, let the people know like where you come from. Because you mentioned Catalyst, and for the people that may not know Catalyst or want you to explain it to them, you can explain what Catalyst was all about.
Yeah. Well, Cos was a company. It was partially my baby, and I had two partners in it. One of them was Damian Holder, and we basically started a company to make a change. Our thing was our change is coming, and what we did was we put out songs that was basically on that R&B feel that was different. We always did something different, something out of the box, and that was, I said, that's my niche, but it's also something that we all agreed that we would do. So we had a lot of artists coming into our studio. We had artists sleeping there, 7 or 8 at a time would be sleeping there. It was like a camp basically for artists, and a lot of people like Carrie Kill, Juicy was known right now as Jabami, Trinity and Miche, and some of the people we worked with, as I said, Maximus Dan, Dougie Slaughter, Benjai, Michelle Sylvester, Mr. Vibe, and a lot of people. And all those songs that I did from the past, it was done out of the Catalyst camp. And it was something I'm very, very proud of, honestly. I'm very, very proud of the music that we did and the artists that we work with, you know. So it just happens that, sometimes everybody have their own little life, and it happens with this music industry. So now I'm coming out on my own with my own production company, and I'm proud of that as well. So,
well, information. Let's talk about it. What you got?
Well, I named it my name basically, Miche Productions, probably because I was too lazy to look for another name. So I just said I'll name it Miche, you know. So Miche Productions is my company. I basically just started it. And it's going to be me. You will see more of the essence of who I am as a producer, and really the essence of the music that I love doing. And I'm really, because it's me and my company, I don't have any limitations about what I can do or what I can't do. And I love that too. I have no one to make a decision. Can we put this out? Can we put this out? I'm making decisions. It's my baby. And I'm working also in conjunction in some other projects with Mad Architect Music as well. So when I'm doing that, I'll be doing freelance music, working with several different people and doing different collabs. And that's what I actually want to do too. Mm-hmm. And so I don't consider myself having any limitations. And that's what I consider. Miche Productions is just no limits, basically, right. You know.
Big up to the Mad Architect doing this thing. Big up to Mad Architect. We understand. So, your background, where you from, and all that good stuff.
Well, I'm born in Brooklyn. Mm-hmm. My parents was born from Trinidad, St. James and Belmont, respectively. My older brother and sister was born in Trinidad. My parents just happened to move here a couple of years before I was born. So, unfortunately, I can't claim to be Trinidadian. Mm-hmm. But I'm Trini in my heart, you know. And I've always been in the culture. I played pan for several years, about 20-something years. That, you know, so that means I'm only like 25. I started when I was 5 years. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I played about 20 years. I played drums. My musical background, I played drums, piano, saxophone, keyboard. But as I said, my heritage is Trini.
Oh, you know. So you're like a regular, like, Caribbean prince. Yeah, well, just a little taller. Just a little taller. That's what I'm talking about. So, you know, we got to talk about inspiration and stuff like that. Who, as you came up, who inspired you to do this music? Who did you want to be like, or who did you want to imitate, or, you know, what made you want to come into this musical thing?
You mean Caribbean-wise?
Yeah.
Oh, just the music I saw. First of all, coming from before I even started producing, I was a party goer. So I go to parties and have a good time, and you will hear songs. And also, Carnival. When you go Carnival, the songs inspire you. The really good soca song or Carnival song is songs that get to you, give you like your paws raised, and you feel it puts you in that moment. You know, it gives you that moment where you're like, oh my God, it's Carnival time, and we jumping with our friends and have a good time. You know, that's what soca is supposed to do. And I was like, oh, I want to do that. You know, I really want to do that. I just also love doing R&B, but R&B is mostly about love, pain, hurt. I did die to cry and do my songs and everything. And so I was like, you know, I like to do some songs that give that feelings. When you're in Carnival time and you're having a good time with your friends jumping up, I want your paws to raise, and you know, your music is always to affect people, whether to make you laugh, cry, have a good time, jump and wave. And I wanted to give them that feeling, that euphoria or euphoric feeling for Carnival.
Who are your favorite artists coming up and now?
Oh, my favorite artist before I even met him, one of them was Benjai, because his voice is so haunting. Up to now, he's just saying "Simian," you're like, what? But it affect, you know, when I was like, what is Simian? Until I met him, I didn't know what it was. But it's really like, see me here. But it still doesn't make sense. But if you feel something from the tone of his voice, you know. So that he's one of the artists that I've always liked. Destra, of course, Denise Belfon. Some of these artists, if I try to, I'm trying to think back to some of my favorite artists, but it's hard. But Michelle Sylvester, absolutely love her voice, and I think she has one of the most purest voice in the soca industry. As far as on the production side, I didn't know much. I know much people, but even though we worked with Mastermind before he had Mastermind Productions, but him as a producer was great. And then there's a young boy that I knew from since he was 17 named Cool, and he has Artica Productions, and he was really, really good. And I just been hearing the music though, but I didn't know people on the production side. On the artist side, I know a lot of people, or I've heard a lot of people before I've got to meet them, and I love them.
What do you think about Nadia Botson?
I love her. I met her. I sang for her twice. Soca Monarch background vocals. And I was watching Soca Monarch the other day. I'm just like, oh, I missed that.
So, what do you have coming up for the future, so that people will know and what to look out for and where to look out, for it?
Right. Well, presently, I know we're going to the future. Presently, we have a song that we just released, and we're still pushing, so it's still a future I consider. A song by Raga that I did called Wine for Your Country, Wine for Your Country with Mad Architect Music with Tony Brown. So we just pushed that out right before Carnival, and we're going to keep pushing that. And then the next thing I really believe is my next release is a song I did for Miche called Emotions and The Best, a.k.a. The Best. That should be coming out soon as well. And then I have some singles that I'm working on as well. One is, I don't even want to name them because I don't know what order they're going to come in. So it depends which one I finish first. We'll release them. But I really want to work on my stuff as an artist because I don't push that whatsoever. And I get harassed every single couple of weeks about doing something. And not only, I do love it and I miss it really bad. So I think I'm going to push myself out as an artist just to, bring that to the world a little bit.
Right, because for all y'all that don't know, Miche is a wonderful singer also. You didn't know that. Now you know. I know you're associated or affiliated with like the whole fusion movement and everything. Tell us about fusion movement and what that's about.
Fusion movement it started out as a marketing company, but it's way more than that because we have so much different aspects that hopefully we're going to show soon. And we're going slow and doing things step by step because we want things to be right. But basically, it's a marketing company. We were the first marketing company to really, the whole presentation, the package of marketing for the Caribbean industry. Right. Meaning that, okay, you have a release. Usually people will send out a text and send out an email and it would be all text and it'll say the song name or just say track one and all that stuff. We was like, look at all the things that should be better and let's do it. Instead of talking about it, let's be the ones to do it. So we approached some artists that we work with and said, listen, this is what we can do. And then we started doing that for some of these artists and end up getting more clients. And this would be extravagant graphic releases. So it's a package. So no matter what your song sounds like, the first thing they're going to see, because they can't hear the music in their email, is that package, is that presentation. They're going to see that. It's like the gift box, the beautiful gift box and the one that's just paper, Mm-hmm. So we basically gave a beautiful gift box for them to open. So that's when they would see it, they would be like, oh, let's see what's in here. Click on that, and that's what we offered. And we were the first ones to do that. And thankfully, other people picked up on that and followed suit. So now it's time that these other companies follow suit with that and basically met up with us that what we're doing and offering that gift package. Now it's time for us to make a left and offer some other things. And we have some little tricks and things that we're going to do soon and little surprises. And but it's all about the industry and elevating the industry to be a viable and a marketable industry for the Caribbean.
Yes, because I've seen that you didn't just send out information on people's music. You sent out industry information, how people should make sure they copyright their music and industry tips and stuff like that. That's how I noticed. It's a great idea, and I've never seen anyone else do it. I'll just see people, okay, pay me to send you a blast out. But then I noticed that Fusion Movement sends out information to artists that may not know things about the music industry, but they want to break into it.
Right.
So that's a good thing. That's a good thing. So how do people subscribe to Fusion Movement?
Well, they could subscribe. They could go to info@fusionmovement.com and just email us, and we could put you on the list. Or you could go to our Facebook page. Actually, if you go to facebook.com/Fusion Movement, there's actually a mailing list tab right there where you can join our iContact mailing list right there on the page, and you can get all the blasts that we send out. You can contact us, message us, and let us know that you would like an actual blast, and then we'll put something together. And usually we can do either custom packages or templates. We used to do everything custom, but we can't do that for everyone.
Right.
It depends. So we offer different packages for different people. It really depends on what they want, but we really want to give people, as I said, that so-called gift package, that presentation, and that's the best thing that people need, is to elevate their game. And we're going to keep pushing the game forward, and hopefully people keep doing that. On a whole, everyone who does this as marketing keeps pushing the game forward, and it's the best for the industry.
How do you feel about soca actually not being officially being a genre of music? Because when you write in SOCA, a big red line come under it because the name does not exist.
Right. I'm two-minded about that. I don't think we were ready in a lot of aspects. We were ready in certain ways and not ready in other ways. Some artists actually had the chance to push soca to a certain level. They got signed and everything. But in the end, besides that one or two tracks that did incredibly well, behind that they couldn't back it up. The industry is now changing to that music. I hope it doesn't get lost in trying to create that so-called mainstream music. As I said, you could create mainstream music and not leave out your soca, but some producers and artists do that. They're pushing straight whatever that is, whatever is dance, especially with the dance music.
Right.
They're losing the essence of the soca within inside of that.
Right.
So it's just dance music with a soca artist, you know. So I don't know how I feel about that,
Right.
But I hear soca and a lot of things. I heard a commercial the other day, and the music underneath was soca. They probably didn't call it soca or whatever the case may be, but to me, it's our fault. Sometimes we love to keep our soca to ourselves. We don't want to expand it. We want to keep it so we have the essence and we jump up and think. But we could share it in different aspects. We could seek to do certain things in video games, and that's what I'm doing, trying to get music in video games. I had things that were put in for like the walk-in module for IBM, and I would big up Donovan Samuels for doing that project, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So music for like NPR Corporation and different things. So music I have for Blue Waters in Trinidad. You have to seek those projects, and you have to really think out of the same thing. Out of the box thinking is what gets you to go to different realms, and people don't think more about the international aspect of pushing their music. They're just like, okay, let me release to these 30 DJs, and that's it.
Right.
Whatever happens in Carnival, that's it. And if they really want to push it, they have to also write things that everyone or anyone can relate to, because not anyone can relate to jump up music. So, but we still have to have our jump up music for Carnival. But for the ones who actually want to push music, they have to think out of the box, think about what will relate to the real world and the outside world. And the producers have to still keep that essence, hopefully, of our music within whatever genre they're fusing it with.
So, like right now, who do you like? Present day.
Well, actually, someone I forgot to mention, and I met him way back then, Kes. I met Kes way back then, and when I used to, I used to book. Well, it was like fusion. We used to book for like Waiatica, a West Indian, whatever West Indian American Day Carnival Association, whatever. We mentioned we mentioned
We do not care about them niggas. Sorry.
we mentioned Kessa and Nadia as people they should book because at the time they weren't booking Kessa and Nadia, and probably because of that, because of the music was different as well. Kessa used to do really rock music back in the days, and that's what I loved about him back then. So he used to do rock and Nadia. They did different types of soca. They weren't people didn't know them like that, and then fusion came, and we now started to push their music on that end. So before all the hype and everything, everybody was there. We were there. I was there. I knew Kes, and we always wanted to work with him, and we always talked about working together. It just never came together. And someone who I really love as an artist because he can basically do anything. He's a great singer live in the studio, and that's how I love singers. Most of the people that I love can actually sing live and in the studio. They're not studio singers, and he's one of them. He's one of them who I really think is going to be on the forefront of bringing soca, or who already has started making steps of bringing soca and Caribbean music on this end, on the mainstream, and still keeping the essence of. I keep using the word essence, keeping the essence of soca.
What you thought about his, sorry Sam, jumping in. What you thought about his performance in Soca Monarch?
I think it was cool. To me he didn't push as far as he usually do. The bunny disturbed me, but no, I know it's the whole Alice in Wonderland. I didn't even see the video for Stress Away actually, the Alice in Wonderland thing. But he sings always tremendously. He's always a great singer. So he performed great as a singer. But I mean that night there were a lot of other songs. So no matter, okay, you did great. There's other songs that did really well, and other people who had a lot of other really great presentations as well. And I personally loved Ben Jai's presentation. The whole People Champion was amazing. He came out with the boxing and all that stuff. It was really great. First time I saw Ben Jai bareback, and I was so like shocked. He doesn't feel like he's never bareback.
Right.
Ever.
Lost some weight too.
Yeah. No, actually, he lost weight. Well, from when I know him, he lost weight. But when he put it in, it seemed like he put it in bulk. It's not the first time I saw him bareback. I actually saw him bareback when we was doing a video for Pick the Shells. So he did look different. He's like, yeah, he's a little bit more bulky. Like he's going to be a prize fighter. And then his voice pushed forward through the mic. You know, a lot of them don't have that stage and know how to push that out when they're singing. And he's one of them who knows how to do that and affect the people. And he was really good that night. Okay. I miss Kerwin DeBar's performance because right then the internet cut out. I was so mad. I actually cut out half a Kes, so I didn't get to see Kes' whole performance. Half a Kes and all Kerwin DeBar. I saw every single person else. I was ashamed about that pork. The pork thing. I forget it anyway.
Talk about it. What's the pork?
No, I don't even know what it was. It was just some KFC song. It was embarrassing. I don't care if you see it. It was embarrassing because to me this is broadcasting in the world, and you have someone looking like Woody Woodpecker singing pork, and I was really upset. But anyway,
and who was this?
I don't even know. He was from a different country, but I don't even know. I said it. I'm not ashamed to say. I posted on my Facebook page. It was. I just think it was embarrassing. To me, worldwide, I'm just thinking about people seeing this who never saw soca. I'm thinking also, what happened if a fusion and we said, okay, listen, we want to get some sponsors. Oh, Coca-Cola, hey, come and look at Soca Monarch and see, you know, what you think about our music. And then you hear pork, and you say, you know, it's like that's what I'm thinking. Like, okay, you just messed up my whole deal. Forget it. Right. That's what I was thinking from that aspect of bigger things. It just was like, oh my God, why?
Yeah. Anyway, so how do people get in touch with Miche Williams to hear your music, to get in touch with you about business? What's the Gmail or the email or whatever?
Well, you can email me at micheproductions.com. So that's MICHE at micheproductions.com. You can also look me up on Facebook. It's facebook.com/Miche Productions. And then I'm on Reverb Nation. I think it's reverbnation.com/Miche the producer. I hope so. So it's hard to remember all those things. So those are the main ways that you can email me and everything. And from there, We can go from there and get together and collab or talk about business. And also, if you want to get in touch with Fusion, it's info@fusionmovement.com. I will get to it. Some other partners we will get to. We all can look at that email and see what's going on and get back to you from there. As I said, you can go on facebook.com/fusionmovement with the Z, of course, and join our mailing list from there or message us from there if you're actually part of facebook.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are talking to the one and only, the only female soca calypso producer in the world. And only Ras FM can bring him to you. Only we can bring her to you. You mother suckers.